Hey guys, Super Godzilla Final Words here, and today this is going to be one of the very many, first few of many secrets behind Godzilla and Mikasa, the Incoming of Darkness. For now, we're only discussing Season 1, and Season 2 is, still kind of new, with its first 20 episodes. And yeah, I am going to be discussing a lot of interesting behind the scenes of when I was making season 1, and of course, even reveal original concept of what the story was originally going to be like. And you will be shocked to hear that there was a lot of interesting lore and secrets, and even a lot of original concepts that was originally going to be this, the main start for the series, but ended up being replaced with what I ended up going with later on. And I'll also end up mentioning that there will be some scenes of Incoming of Darkness Season 1 that I regret doing. But for now, let's go over for the original concepts of what this story was originally going to be like. So when I started making the series, and when Godzilla 2000 and Kirita 3 ended up becoming a co-director or a producer or something like that, there was a lot of original plans for this particular story. I know I don't really have all the all the original episodes from season 1, because, my old YouTube channel got deleted, and so as a result, I had to do a remake of the last few episodes, so that way my friend, Storm Ultima, could finish his reaction series. Because the last episode I left off was episode... The last episode I left off at was episode 42. That was the last episode that I left off, and I had to remake the last episodes. But anyways, without further ado, like I said before, let's go on ahead and get on with the origins of, not origins, the behind the scenes of Godzilla and Mikasa, the Incoming of Darkness, Season 1. So there was 3 original concepts of what this story was originally going to be like. The first one was going to not feature the MonsterVerse Godzilla, but in fact, it was originally going to feature Godzilla 2000. That's right, Godzilla 2000 was going to be the main focus, the main Godzilla focus. And I wanted to do a story that featured Godzilla 2000 and Mikasa being a thing. The other part of the original idea for the first part was Godzilla 2000 was not going to be friendly towards any humans. If anything, it was going to be hostile, aggressive, and just overall just not trusting of humans. But then, when he mysteriously, like when Mothra decided to teach Godzilla a lesson for constantly destroying cities, she uses her defying moth powers and turns Godzilla into a human and sends him to the nearest human civilization for him to get along. Of course, he'll still have his powers, his like stats, like his strength, durability, and regeneration. He would still have all of that, but it was significantly like toned down a bit. Like his powers were not as strong nor as effective as they once were. And at first, the original idea for The Incoming of Darkness Season 1 was originally going to take place in season 1 or Season 2 of Attack on Titan, where Mikasa still had, well, arguably one of her very popular looks, and all the other characters. And at first, Godzilla and Mikasa don't actually get along at first. They actually somewhat forming a rivalry, kind of. And I think that was the most very interesting thing I had planned for the original idea for Incoming of Darkness Season 1, was that Godzilla and Mikasa don't actually end up having a relationship, at least not yet. They actually start off as, like, kind of enemies at first, with Godzilla constantly beating down on Eren, and just calling him, like, a weak little, spoiled little brat, honestly. Which, to be fair, I think we can all agree that Eren was kind of being a spoiled little brat in the earlier seasons, and kind of a dick towards his friends, honestly. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, this resulted in Godzilla and Mikasa not getting along a whole lot. And as a result, their relationship doesn't happen yet. But later on down the road, they eventually learn to get along and even perform like some kind of friendship at first. And as time goes on, the two eventually start like forming like romantic feelings towards each other, and Godzilla eventually ends up realizing that humans are not all that bad. But however, an old enemy returned in the form of not King Ghidorah, but Space Godzilla. Yes, that's right. Space Godzilla was originally going to be the main antagonist for Season 1 of Incoming of Darkness. I decided to have King Ghidorah to be like a last result kind of villain for me to use, as if I, run out of ideas on what kind of villain I want to use for Season 1. Because I think at the time, I didn't have a big Destroya figure, and I only had a small one. So the only big villains I had were Space Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Biollante. So I couldn't, like, truly decide at the time to figure out who was going to be the original main villain for season 1 of the original story. However, there was a lot of problems with season 1 of the original story that I had a lot of problems with. And as a result, it ended up getting replaced with the current story that you guys get now. Well, at least the ones from Stormoso's reaction video series, because they're the only kind of remaining videos that kind of have the old episodes still up. So, yeah. I'm not going to go into too much detail of what was like the whole original idea for for season 1 of Incoming of Darkness, but I am going to say there was a lot of ups and downs, and honestly, I just couldn't do the original part of season 1 of the Incoming of Darkness. In fact, it had the most cheesiest ending ever, and that was so like stupid, and I'm really glad I changed that ending. And I'm not going to go into details of what kind of ending the original part of season 1 had. But all I gotta say is, wow, it was so dumb. So in the end, the original plan for season 1, or as I like to prefer, the Godzilla 2000 season, was left behind, and as a result, it got replaced with a much more different story. Now this is where we're going to move on to the second part of the original story for season 1 of Godzilla and Mikasa Incoming of Darkness. In this season, I was going to be using the Heisei Godzilla. And honestly, the second part of the original story did not go that far, actually. Because I realized there was a big problem that I had. And that was, at the time, my Bandai Movie Monster Series Burning Godzilla was the only Heisei Godzilla figure I had. I had no other big Heisei Godzilla figures to use. This ended up changing when I got the NECA 80 Godzilla 1989, and eventually the NECA Godzilla 1994, and of course later down the road the SH Monster Arts Heisei Godzillas, but that doesn't matter at the moment. So yeah, my original part for season 1 the second part of the original idea for season 1 did not go that far because, yeah, I didn't want to make the story feel like Godzilla was stuck in his burning form, and it's going to be impossible for Mikasa to even go anywhere near him, honestly. So that part was scratched. And as a result, the third idea for season 1 came into mind, and just like with Heisei Godzilla, it didn't go far either. And you'll see why.